3 years ago, we started a movement called LEAP. How can we leap into the future in partnership with you? And I see some of the global CEOs here with us. Thank you so much for joining us to make sure that we leave no one behind. Because if there was polarization in the analog world and the digital world, we definitely cannot afford polarization in the intelligent age. And don't take my word for it. I mean, if digitalization was the largest social equalizer and economic multiplier, the intelligent age, if we leave anyone behind, it's gonna be the largest divider and demultiplier. As a matter of fact, I would argue that leaving anyone behind in the intelligent age is as devastating as depriving an individual of oxygen, water, and food. And don't take my word for it. Look at this slide. In the analog and the digital world, we were talking about the global north and the global south. For every dollar made in the global south, somebody makes 5x in the global north. That is not acceptable. And this is the same case for the digital age. And guess what? For the intelligent age, it's gonna even grow bigger and get more exacerbated. Where it's projected, only 1 billion to 2 will join this exclusive club called the intelligent age, and 6.5 billion by 2030 left behind. If we look at these rows, if each row represents 10 people representing the human population, you're talking about 8 people being left behind, and only 2 join this exclusive club. This is why, under the leadership of His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and in partnership with you, we have started a movement of how we can bring talent and technology for the people, planet, and prosperity. The investment thesis is very simple. Bring the greatest thinkers and doers of the world, the biggest investors and innovators, and magic will happen, not only for a nation, but for a region and the world. As a digital economy, collectively, we have grown by 73% to $260 billion in the region. And guess what? The kingdom represents 50%. As a tech force, and His Royal Highness said that this region is the new Europe. We love Europe, but in terms of growth, we've jumped from 150,000 tech force to 381,000 in Saudi, and as a result, the region grew. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia alone, if you put it in the EU zone, we will be the 5th largest tech hub in Europe. And if we use unicorns and startups and scale-ups as a proxy for growth, the region grew to 15 unicorns. No wonder when the kingdom grew from 2 unicorns to 7. And to keep up the pace, we need to keep walking the talk with momentum. His Royal Highness always says it. It's critical that you walk the talk. And we have done so. We announced last year the largest cloud node in the region. And Andy Jassy, my friend, was here a couple of weeks ago where he announced the Outpost and soon going live with 2026. We have Microsoft Core and Shell for their Azure node, and we have Grok. Jonathan Ross is going to join me shortly on stage to talk more about it, of how we're building the largest inference node for the region. But we also have Arvind from IBM delivering on his promise, delivering one of the largest AI and software development houses for the region. This is why we're moving from a movement with momentum to the multiplier effect. And under the leadership of His Royal Highness, he really articulated well. It's about his ability and the dream team and our partners globally to be able to predict market transitions, be able to allocate the resources, and make sure we seize the opportunities and manage the tensions between the challenges and the opportunities. Because it's all about the fundamentals. The digital economy promised us $16 trillion But guess what? Until now, there's 2.6 billion people outside of that digital economy, 100 million in the global north and 2.5 billion in the global south. And this is why we are laser focused on continuing to be the biggest success story in closing down the skills divide, digital divide, and governance divide in partnership with you. And this is why, yet again, leap in, leap out, we are the largest success story in women empowerment in tech, surpassing yet again the EU, G20, and the Silicon Valley average. So can I get a big round of applause for all of the amazing women that we have here in the room? For Dr. Latif Al-Abd Al-Karim, she is the only women leader from the region sitting on the table for the UN Secretary General, advising him on AI. We have Royana Bernawi, our women astronaut, and I think she's here. Can we get a big round of applause for Royana? And Dima Al-Yahya, who's doing a fantastic job delivering on the promise of His Royal Highness, digital prosperity for all. But guess what? As we shift from digital times to the intelligent age, yet again, we have bigger success stories in the intelligent age, where the world is moving from predictive AI to generative AI to agentic to autonomous. In generative AI, we have Dr. Ali Hassan, who has done a fantastic job tackling sickle cell disease with Nanopalm. We have one of our brightest AI engineers, Ghayda Tasan, partnering with Ibrahim in Fathom.io, delivering agentic AI for our oil and gas and energy sector, delivering the lowest carbon footprint under the leadership of Aramco. And we have Dr. Firas Khalil, who has done a fantastic job in autonomous AI, delivering the world's first fully robotics heart transplant. And this is just the beginning. Because as we move from a movement to with momentum to the multiplier effect, Leap 25 for us is a defining moment. A defining moment where yet again, under the leadership of His Royal Highness and in partnership with you, the global innovators and investors, we're coming together to make sure that AI doesn't become an exclusive club for 1 billion folks or 2 billion. And we have to celebrate the ChatGPT moment of 2022, but we also have to appreciate and celebrate the DeepSeek moment, where right now it's alive in all American hyperscalers. Once again, the world does not need polarization in the intelligent age. We need to work collectively to celebrate these advancements, where DeepSeek so far is beating all AI models. Moving on to the 3 divides: compute, data, and algorithms. On compute, guess what? We're building the largest inference node for the world. Jonathan Ross, come over. So Jonathan, last year you announced it here first with Tarek. Fantastic job. Why don't you update the team?
Well, I'm very humbled to be here. Actually, this is the second time at Leap, and Minister Alswaha invited me back then, and what was unusual about that was we hadn't gone viral yet, and Minister Alswaha recognized what we had. And working with Minister Alswaha and Tariq Amin, by September of last year, we came up with a plan to build the region's largest inference cluster.
Congratulations.
Thank you. However, we moved so quickly that 51 days later, we were serving traffic so quickly we beat other projects, and we believe we're actually the largest inference cluster in all of EMEA.
This is so significant because the world keeps talking about training, but what's more critical, it's the diffusion of these technologies across industries, not the confusion. And once these technologies are proliferated, it's all about inference and the reasoning. So Tarek, why don't you share with us the great news as well?
So a couple of really important things. I think, Your Excellency, you talked, rightfully so, that the #1 objective that we had to do is really democratizing of the AI infrastructure. Not only we have done this, as Jonathan said, it took us really 8 days to have 19,000 LPUs serving today live billions of tokens But what is really important, especially for our region, for Saudi Arabia, AI startups, government, enterprises no longer have to wait for availability of infrastructure. This is something available today.
And I think, Tariq, we have to share it with the world. It was actually His Royal Highness 6 months ago when we were presenting to him building the largest training node for the world. He said it's about training and inference, acceleration and diffusion and adoption of these technologies. And speaking of adoption, we have a big one coming up. But Jonathan, thank you so much for delivering on your promise.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of moving from AI acceleration to adoption, yet again, another breaking announcement coming here first in LEAP, how we could empower personnel, whether in oil and gas, public safety and security, enterprises, to be able to have a distilled LLM within their pocket to energize productivity. So Tariq, why don't we invite as well the CFO of Qualcomm to join you for this announcement with Allam and Qualcomm and Dr. Yasser Anezan. Where's Dr. Yasser? Of course you're going to bring your laptop for this one, Dr. Yasser. Thank you so much for your partnership. Please, the floor is yours.
So a couple of things, and I'll have Yasser talk about this. This is a world first, thinking about AI and infrastructure of today and the requirement for tomorrow. We also really envision a world that edge plays a huge factor. Lowering the cost of infrastructure is critical. Today, I would tell and announce to everybody that the cost of running models in Saudi Arabia and the cost of inferencing, as of today, is the lowest in the world today. There is no more premium charges. However, we also thought with Qualcomm, well, they innovated so much into chipsets and mobile devices. Can we take what they have done and put everything on the far edge? And this far edge works really nicely in a new concept called hybrid AI cloud. So I'll let Dr. Yasser and Akash speak briefly about what they have done, because it should be celebrated.
Please, and you should make it visible. Is that Allam AI-powered laptop? Amazing.
Yes, Your Excellency. So in the past a couple of years, we have been busy teaching Allam about language and understanding.
Can I get a big round of applause for Sadaya for delivering Allam? Amazing, amazing job.
And now it's time to take it, and make it run in useful use cases in our everyday life.
So a distilled LLM powered on your laptop for your sovereignty doesn't need to be connected to the internet and has the same intelligence of using mixture of experts, distillation, all the way on your devices.
So Qualcomm is the leader in all edge devices, right? So we are in phones, in PCs, in cars. We are in industrial devices. We are in augmented virtual reality devices. We're going to take Allam and run it on every single one of these endpoints.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Yasser.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tariq, Amin. We're not done yet, huh? We have another one. This one comes from one of the silent heroes of our tech and digital ecosystem. Not only he runs the largest tech and digital company for the kingdom, for the region, but in terms of market cap, top 10 globally, but Aliyan Rotate, in partnership with Alibaba, decided to bring Quinn for the region, one of the most powerful LLMs for the region. And as His Royal Highness always keeps reminding me, this is yet just the beginning. Because under the leadership of His Royal Highness and in partnership with you, our global innovators and thinkers of the world, yet again, you keep making history in this defining moment and announcing $14.9 billion worth of investments and announcements in this leap alone. And rest assured, in a very true leap fashion, we're going to come back here on stage and talk about how we're walking the talk in each one of these announcements. But before I wrap up, and let me wrap up by saying that the intelligent age is here, and in partnership with you, we're going to leap together. Thank you.